Hey everybody, welcome. We are in the last stretch, really. I mean, right now, what we have so far is a pretty decent game. Now, the only thing I've done between the last video and this video is I have added some more pedestals, right? So I added one up on this rock. I added one back there. Oop, there's a ghost coming. And some others. So let me just jump up here and get this real quick. Turn on the light. And, uh-oh. Look what's happening. I'm hovering. I'm floating like the ghosts. This was something I realized when I was playtesting this a minute ago. Added one there and one there. I completely forgot to add gravity to this game. Normally it wouldn't be a problem because my character is just on the ground. But as you can see, you can climb up on that rock and you can't get back down to the ground again. So let's fix that problem real quick. Let's create a variable called gravity. We'll set it equal to, I don't know, 10. And then inside the process function, let's set the velocity.y to minus equal. We don't want to float away. Let's set it to plus equal so we can see what that looks like because it's fun. Plus equals gravity times delta. So let's just basically change our y velocity. This is going to make us fly in the air, which is going to be great. We're taking off. That's pretty cool. All right, so we want the opposite of that. Let's do minus equals gravity. Okay, so now we can fall to the ground. Perfect. One problem solved. Let's lock in that change. Okay, so we now have a fail state, but we need a win state. We need a way to be able to win the game. So let's figure out what we want to do. Well, as I said, I've added in four new pedestals. So there's one there, there's one over here. There's one back there, and then there's one tucked away in this group of trees right there. So there's 5 pedestals. So what I want is I want to be able to turn on each pedestal, and when I turn on all 5 pedestals at once, I want the game to be over. I want it to tell me that I won. Okay, so that's my win state for the game. The thing is, in order to add some challenge, I want to create a timer on each pedestal that whenever the timer elapses, the light turns off. So if you're not quick enough, you might have to go back and turn on the light you turned on in the beginning because it turned off, right? So you have to memorize where all the lights are, and you know, the longer you take, the more ghosts are going to be coming at you. So it'll be panic inducing. So let's set up that system. First of all, let's create a screen that we can go to whenever we win the game. Okay. So let's create a new scene. And the control for this, or the root node for this, is going to be user interface. And let's call this win screen. Okay. And we're going to add, let's add a background to this so it looks nice. So add a child node. Texture rect is what we're looking for. Texture rect. Okay. And in the assets that I've given you for this project, let's see, we have the final, there we go, final assets. We have this win screen picture that I found, which is cool. You can use it if you want. You can use something else if you'd like. Where did it go? Oh, it went into my scenes folder for some reason. Let's not put it there. Okay, so, all right, so we have this windscreen.jpg. I'm going to drop this into the texture. Now it's not quite big enough, so let's anchor it to full screen. There we go. Cool, nice little background. Then we're going to add a label. And the text in this label is going to be, you win. Press escape to quit. So it's going to be a very basic very basic message. We'll put that here in the center. Let's make it nice and big. And let's change the label settings. And let's bring in this font. So I found a cool font that I like too. So I'll bring that in. And let's use that font. And let's set it to a nice big, say 50. Perfect. Now, the problem is we're telling them to press escape to quit, but they can't actually quit yet. Because if you remember, the quit code, where is my script? The quit code was on my player right here. Okay. But my player doesn't exist in this scene here. So we need to create a new script on the win screen. And let's put it in our scripts folder. It is perfect. And let's paste in that code that allows us to quit the game. Okay. Let's save this scene real quick. We'll put it in our scenes folder, windscreen.tscn. Beautiful. So now we have a win screen that we can go to whenever we win the game. All right, super easy. You can make it more, interesting or complicated if you'd like, but for our purposes, that's good enough. Okay, perfect. So now we have a win screen. So we have a win state. We just have to be able to get there. So let's go back to our pedestal code, and let's take a look at what we have here. What is that? That is close. We don't want that. So what we can do with our pedestal is we basically can turn the light on, and inside this script, we can set some variable saying that we've just turned a light on, or we can count how many lights that we've turned on. So to do this, we're going to want to use a global script. So let's go into our scripts folder, and let's create a new script. And let's name it global with a capital G. Normally global scripts have a capital, okay? Now we want to set up this script to be an auto load script. So let's go into our globals tab in our project settings. And mine's already enabled. Let me delete that real quick. So we're going to choose the folder icon. We're going to find our global script here, click open, and then click add. And then that's going to auto load this script. So this script will be loaded as soon as the game starts. Okay. So now within the auto load script, where is it? Where's my global? Let's open my global script. There we go. Within the global script, we can create a variable. And this variable can be var lights on. And we'll set it equal to 0. Okay. So we have 0 lights on at the moment. That's what we want. Okay. But now that this is a global script, we can access this lights on variable from every other script in the game. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So our global script is ready to go. Now we can go back to our pedestal and we can, whenever we turn on the light, we can say global dot lights on plus equals 1. Perfect. That's easy to do. Alrighty. Now we want to set it up so that our pedestal turns off the light after a certain amount of time. Well, to do that, we're going to need a timer. All right. So what we can do is in our pedestal, let's add a child node, add a timer. Let's set the time to, let's say 15 seconds just to get, for playtesting purposes. Let's set it to 5 for now. Okay. And then what we want to do is whenever we turn on the light, we want to start our timer. So $timer.start. Okay. And then what we want is we want an on timer timeout signal so that whenever the timer turns off, whenever we reach the end of that 5 seconds or however long we want it to be, we turn the light off. We reduce our lights on by 1, and we set this can interact back to true. So we basically reverse everything we've just done here. So with our timer selected, let's go to our node. Let's go to our signals here. Timeout. There we go. Attach it to the pedestal. Perfect. Bingo, bango, bongo. Now we can basically copy pretty much all of this. Paste it in. Light bulb visible is going to be false. Global lights on is going to be -1. We don't want to start our timer again. And can interact is going to be true. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, let's save all this and test it out. Okay. So let's turn on the pedestal. Beautiful. And after 5 seconds, it turns off again. And I can interact with it. I can turn it back on. And it takes 5 seconds and it turns off. Love it. Okay, so that's working. We're probably going to want to change that time from 5 seconds to like 30 seconds or something. But for now, that works pretty well. Okay, so that's... Ooh, you know what? Let's figure out a way to move from this world into our windscreen whenever our global lights on reaches a specific value. Let's do that inside the player node. Let's go to player. Okay, so inside the player node, let's create a new variable. I'm going to make this an export variable so we can change it if we want to add more portals later. We don't have to come back into the script and change it. So we'll say export var total. It's already there. I forgot to delete that variable from whenever I practiced this to make sure that I knew what I was doing. So export var total pedestals. It's already there. Womp womp. Okay, so there is the variable we want, total pedestals. And then, so what we want to do is we want to check to see if our total pedestals is equal to, or if our global lights on equals our total pedestals, right? Because if it is, that means all of our lights are on and we move on to the next level of the game, right? So let's go down inside the physics, or yeah, the physics process function. We'll just do this here. I guess we could do this in the process, but yeah, it's probably better to do it in the process function, just because this is really generally for moving around and stuff. Let's do it here in the process function. So we'll say if global dot lights on equals total pedestals, then we want to get underscore tree dot change scene to file, and the scene we want to change to is our windscreen. Beautiful. All right, so let's go to our pedestal. Let's change the timer to, I don't know, let's say 100 seconds, just so that I have plenty of time to turn on all these pedestals. And let's see if we can get to our windscreen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I haven't even seen a ghost yet. Oh, there's one all the way back there. And 5. There we go. You win. Press escape to quit. Okay, so we can win our game. The ghosts aren't too dangerous right now. Plus, I already... But I memorize where the pedestals are. Someone playing this game for the first time is going to have to like look for them. And plus, it starts out easy, but the more ghosts get added into the game, the worse it gets. So let's set this wait time down to 30. Okay. All right, so that part is all working. Now we get to the fun stuff. So our game, we have a fail state, we have a win state. Now we get to go to the fun stuff, the really cool stuff. Why does this keep trying to open? Close. Discard. Thank you. Whew. Anyway, so now we get to the fun stuff. Now, let's add some sound effects. Let's add some audio. Let's add a, what is this? Inside tree. I don't know what all these errors are, but the game's working, so I'm going to ignore it. Let's add some sound effects. All right. So if we take a look I've also given you a folder with a bunch of sound effects in it. Go ahead and drop this entire folder into your resources folder. It might take a minute for it to import. And where did they go? Did it go into models? No. Where did it go? That was weird. Did it go into scenes? No. Scripts? There it is. It went into scripts. All right. Sometimes, man. All right. Drop it up here. Okay, perfect. So, audio. Let's do this. Let's add some background music. Alrighty. So what we want to do to add background music, let's go to the world. We need a special node, obviously, like everything else in game or in Godot. We need a node to make it happen. So let's look for the node we want. We want an audio stream player 3D. And actually, for this one, we can just use a regular audio stream player, because this is going to be our background music, so it doesn't need to exist in 3D space. There are reasons why we want to use an audio player 3D, which we will in a minute. Let's just do an audio stream player so that it plays at the same volume no matter where we are. An audio stream player 3D, the noise will get louder as you get closer to it, and it'll get softer as you get farther away. So we don't want that. For this, we just want an audio stream player. And an audio stream player is asking for a stream, basically a sound effect. Now, this creepy music sound effect is about 2 minutes and 50 seconds, about 30 or about 3 minutes, but it doesn't loop automatically, okay? So we have to tell it to loop automatically. The way we do that is double click on it, and it will pull up these options here, but notice that we can't actually change any of these options. So if we hover over this information icon or click on it, it says the resource was imported, so it's not editable. Change its settings in the import panel, then re-import. Okay, so over here, we can click on our import panel. We can come down here and change these options. So one thing that we want to change is our loop mode. We want to change it to forward. Okay, and then re-import. It's going to take a minute, re-import, but now we have the option of looping it. Okay, so now it will loop automatically when it gets to the very end of this of the track. Okay, let's drag that, drop it back into our stream, and let's turn autoplay on so it plays as soon as the game starts. We don't have to tell it to play when we start the script, or when we start, or when we, whatever. All right, let's play. Nice music. Spooky, spooky stuff. Okay. Good, 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 good. All right, I like it. Sounds good. And you can listen to the whole track. It actually gets even spookier as it goes. So now we have some spooky background music. The next thing I want to add is I want to add some ghost whispers. Okay, I found this really cool ghost whispers sound effect, and I want to add it to our ghosts. This is good. This is going to be a good use of our audio listener 3D. Let's go ahead and add an audio listen or audio stream player 3D. Sorry, and let's give it the ghost whispers. This also needs to be looped, so let's change the import. With that, we can just double click on it and click enable and re-import. Could we have done that with creepy music? No, we tried that. All right, so Ghost Whispers, it is now able to loop. Let's drop it up here into the stream, and let's set it to autoplay as well. So now every ghost that spawns will start whispering at you. The thing is, though, we want to set a max distance. Okay, if we set it to 0, then the max distance is basically infinite. We want to set a max distance away from the ghost that we can hear their whispers. Okay, I've been playing around with this. I think 10 meters is a pretty good number. You can even probably do 15, but we'll do 10 and see what that sounds like. All right, let's go ahead and play, and let's see if we can hear some ghosties whispering at us. First, we need a ghost friend to talk to. Where are my... There we go. There's a ghost friend. Let's go up to it. Oh, you can hear it. You get closer and they get really loud. But if we get far away... Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. And the more of them there are, the more whispery it gets. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So, a couple things. One, 10 is probably too far. Maybe 5 would be better. I'll leave it at 10 because the other thing we're going to do is we're going to change the volume. Right here we have this volume in dB or decibels. Right now it's at 0 decibels, which is the natural volume. Let's set it to like -15 to make it just a little softer. Okay, so our ghosties are working. There's one thing that's not working, however, which is our footsteps. We're walking around and it's really like we can't hear anything. So let's set it up so that we can hear our own footsteps, shall we? Okay, so first of all, we need an audio stream player. And we can do an audio stream player 3D. That way, if we're up against something, we can hear the echoes of the effect as it's bouncing off of us. It's a cool effect. It really won't come into play for this project, but anywho. And then footsteps. Let's set up this for looping as well. We'll enable looping. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to set up this. Oh, you know what? We can actually stream. I'm going to try something new when I do. Okay, we'll see what we can do. And maybe not. All right. Sorry, I got excited about something. So we want our footsteps to be attached to this audio stream player. And let's just listen to what they sound like. Pretty good, right? So good sound effects. They're maybe a little loud. Let's do -30 just to bring them down quite a bit. That might be too much. -15. A little better. Okay. So we have our footsteps. The thing is, we only want those footsteps to play when we're actually moving, right? So the way we can do that is down here, before we change our velocity and everything else, we already have direction normalized, okay? So we can just check to see if we're moving. So if direction, then we will audio stream player 3D dot play. Simple enough. Now let's see what happens when we try to do this. Let's save everything and let's play. Wait, something happened. It started doing something. Can you hear that clicking? Okay, so what's happening is every frame of the game, it's trying to start playing my sound effect over and over again. And it's only actually clear once I stop moving, right? Because then it plays the sound effect like normal. It's not restarting the sound effect every frame. So, two things we need to fix here. First, we need to check to see if we're moving and if the sound effect is not already playing. Because if it's already playing, we don't want to try to play it again. So that's easy to do. In here, in our if check, all we have to say is if direction and audio stream player.3d.playing equals false. Okay, so that way it won't try to play while it's already playing. So let's do that. Nice, nice, nice. Still probably too loud, but it's still playing even though I've stopped. So let's change the volume. Let's go -30. And let's fix this issue with making it stop. So all we have to do, is just say, if not direction, then we will set the audio stream player to stop. Okay, so that way, if we're not moving, it actually stops playing our footsteps. Let's try it. Nice. Nice. That sounds good. And the volume's good. I like the volume. Okay, that sounds good. Sounds natural. There are ways we can fix it, but it's good enough. It's close enough for government work. Okay. The last sound effect that I want to, or the last two sound effects I want to play with, are this orb and power down sound effects that I've found. Okay. What I want to do is I want to, for our pedestal, I want to play a sound when we turn on the pedestal, and I want to play a sound effect when the pedestal turns off. Make it a little bit more interesting. So we're going to need two different audio stream players on this one object in order to do that. So let's grab an audio stream player 3D, and let's rename this to power on. And we will grab this orb sound effect and drop it in there. Okay. And then let's create a new audio stream player 3D. Rename this to power off. And let's drop this power down. Now we don't need to loop these because we only want them to play once. And we don't want them to autoplay either. We're going to tell them to play here in the script. So inside the script, whenever we turn on our pedestal, let's set the power on to play. And when we turn off our pedestal, let's set power off to play. Okay, perfect. So now we'll play the sound effect when we turn it on, play the sound effect, a different sound effect when it turns off. Let's try it out. Oh, that sounded cool. Did you hear that? That was awesome. All right. Actually, I'm going to turn down the amount of time it's going to take for us to wait. Let's set it to 5 again so we don't have to wait 30 seconds for the thing to turn off. Go. Hello? This is a long 5. Oh, I didn't hit enter. Okay. I forget to do that all the time with export variables. Okay, it's off. And it's off. Or it's on, now it's off. Okay, let's see if we can beat the game. I'm gonna put it at, I'll put it at 15 seconds and see if I can beat it. All right. Whispering is so creepy. Oh, it powered off. Did you hear that? Oh no, the other one powered off too. Oh no, they're all turning off. What's gonna, oh man. Oh, they're powering off. Okay, cool. So yeah, 15 seconds is probably not enough. All right, last thing, just as I was playing it, I was kind of realizing that I'm not super happy with the fog. So I want to make the fog way, 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 way denser. So let's go into my environment settings. Let's set the density of my volumetric to 1 would probably be too much. Actually, let's do 0.8. I want to change the fog itself to, okay, that's a good density. The light energy on the fog, let's try that. Bump that up to 5. Okay, let's play and see what it looks like. Oh gosh, that's so foggy. Look at that. I can't see anything. Okay, so the volumetric, that's way too high. Let's set 0.5. Adds a cool new gameplay element, but I think my light is bouncing against the fog. So let's set the density down to 3, and let's change that light energy back down to 1. Okay, better. That's better. Still not quite what I'm looking for. Maybe a little bit less, but it still adds to the challenge. The cool thing is I can hear the ghosts before I can see them now. Oh gosh. I don't know where I'm going. Oh no, there's a ghost there. I can kind of see him through the fog. Oh. So just changing the fog is completely changed. I won. Changing the fog has completely changed the gameplay here. Now, I was able to beat it because I've memorized my whole game. I've played it plenty of times. But someone playing it for the first time probably would not be able to get through it the way I was just able to. So maybe, you know, down to 0.2 and then play again and test it. So that's a little better, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. The game's fully built. It's a built game. It's a final game. Now you can spend some time playing around with all the variables and getting them exactly the way you want them, playing with the fog, playing with the lighting, all that kind of stuff. All these changes are going to make the game more interesting or make it impossible to beat. So this is when you want to get other people to test your game, get other people to play it, see what they think, see what mistakes they make, watch as they're playing it, and try to fix the common mistakes they're making. Things like that. But that's it. We have a fully built game. It's done. So at this point, we're like one step away from being able to just give this game to friends or put it on a website for people to download. And that is going to be publishing. So in the next video, I will talk in depth about how to publish your game properly so that you can give it to other people to play. All right? Perfect. I will see you next time.